Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death.
Hello. Cue the Goblin Cave.
I will cue the Goblin
I believe
Cave.
we have a tabletop audio track entitled thusly.
Mm-hmm. It's designed for just such an encounter.
So you are dragging behind you these two goblin corpses.
Right, I want to sort of leave them near the entrance because I want both my hands free for my delving, you know?
Fair enough. I was about to ask you how much weight you can carry, but it seems like you're not going to bother equipping said goblins. So
I will not equip the goblins. I've come in from the top here, is the viewpoint?
No, you've come in from where you are. So this is you on the ledge outside. This is the cave entrance that you now see.
All right.
I believe you have control of that token, and you should have 3 HP now.
Yes. That is correct. So I guess I will just move on in slowly, carefully, quietly. I'm gonna press myself against this wall and carefully try and peer around it.
You see, you see what you see. There's a small nook, alcove, concealed behind this waterfall, off to your right, and then to your left is the intertwining paths that you see.
I will combat
the light
roll.
Here is dim, right? There's cracks and fragments and shards of light filtered through water.
Half orc has infravision. Half orc, combat roll. Over to here. That's just lighting. Slowly get towards the edge.
Hold on, stop moving just for a second. All right, yeah, you're fine where you are. I was adding, here's some corpses. So you see this chamber before you. There's standing water in the center of the room. Flickering and reflecting whatever light manages to penetrate the goblin cave, projecting shadows on the walls, tricking your eyes into thinking there's movement. But you are half an orc, as you say, so you
I will care.
Your eyes are sharp, being attuned to these conditions.
Confident that there's nothing right here, I will again use my tumbling to do a dive and a roll as quietly and as softly as I can across this way to behind this stone over here. And then keep pressing my luck
you
through
squeeze back here. I think you can technically fit without. I don't know. You probably need to turn your body at least and squeeze at least to get through that little gap.
Sure, that's fine. I'm quite happy with that. I just want to remain.
And it's pitch black in here. You're completely invisible. Couldn't see yourself if it weren't for your orcish eyes. But you keep going.
I
crawling.
can spot a goblin from where I'm standing.
Yeah, I probably should have you roll a perception check. Maybe let's do an opposed perception check to see how this goes.
22?
Let me just randomly determine goblin perception, or this goblin's perception. All right, so you win. So yes, you spot this goblin, and it does not appear to have noticed you. It is,
I will try and make
so
myself.
It's up. It's at least 10 feet above you. So that you're peering out from this little. It's probably the ceiling is probably 6 feet high where you are, but you peer out into an opening, into a larger cavern, and you see a ledge about 10 feet up, and I guess you can just see the green ears poking up over the top of the ledge from where you're standing.
Okay.
And now that you've spotted it, you can probably hear it.
I was going to say, now that I'm in a position where I can see it, I want to shift so I am as, hard to see for the goblin as possible. If that means crouching down lower or leaning in closer to the wall, I want to try and make myself harder to see. And then I want to listen for a while to see if the goblin is talking to anyone.
There's whispers. How long do you give this? You can't speak Goblin, correct?
Correct. Orc and Common.
Do you speak Orcish? There's no. Yeah, you can't understand what they're saying. What is that roll? Was it? Oh, that's the perception check.
Yeah.
So 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I want to wait about. God, I want to wait 10 minutes, but realistically, Halvar's only going to wait 5 minutes. You know, he'll. Maybe 5 minutes is too long. I did leave bodies in the door. I have 1 minute. I'm going to wait 1 minute. I wouldn't want someone finding the bodies I left and then acting on that.
Okay, so you overhear. You're not sure if it was like a burp or if it was a goblin word or right yeah. Mm-hmm. You hear goblin sounds coming from up and above that ledge. Yeah. So a minute passes.
Okay.
You're probably pretty nervous, pretty on edge.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna go back the other way because I'm near to dead. So I want to then like press myself carefully along this wall here, just like keeping to the edge of it to try and make myself as difficult to see as possible. I want to like getting nervous because there's not a lot of cover here. I don't like the lack of cover, but I'm gonna hug the wall and creep in.
Roll a perception check.
1d20 plus 13. Oh, natural 20.
You hear a noise outside. I'm at 20, you nailed it. So you hear a creature approaching. I think with a 20, you even hear it approaching far off, just like maybe a sloshing, begrudging trudge turn into panicked running. As a goblin comes,
I want to position myself behind this bush if I can crouch down in it. And then hopefully when something comes in, Halvar can just like throw himself at it, sort of, is the idea.
Okay. So a goblin comes running down the hallway. I'm totally not expecting you. I guess I'll roll surprise. So he's not surprised.
But it's still an ambush?
Perception check. So I think comes... So he started sprinting as soon as he saw these the corpses that you left outside. So he's got about a 15-foot running start. He spots you immediately and like tries his best to stop. Its eyes go wide in terror. Let's roll initiative, I guess. This guy, yeah, what's your intention?
My intention is to quietly hack him to bits.
Okay. So you can make free attacks as you ambush the creature.
20 with my battle axe. 12. And 1d20 with my Bowie knife. 12. If he's running, though, doesn't he get a penalty to his AC?
I think so. I don't know. What is it usually? Is it 2, 4? Either way, that's...
Plus... A charge is +2 to hit, -1 to AC, I think.
Yeah, so the surprise goblin just basically runs into your axe.
Oh, good. If those both hit, then that's going to be 1d8 plus 4 plus 1d4 plus 4. So I will just one Bowie knife in the heart, axe in the throat, and then slide the Bowie knife out, grab the goblin by the head, pull the axe out, and
roll a... Are you making any effort to make this silent?
Yeah. That's why I pull the knife out and then hold his head to pull the axe out and then lay his body down carefully. I'm trying not to...
There was still a smack as this goblin collided with your blade.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some squeaks. Goblins don't die quietly.
Yeah. Well,
you're making an effort to roll a dex check, I think, to murder as quietly as possible.
I got an 18 on my quiet killing. That is...
It was a crash and a splat and a scream. You're pretty sure that the goblins down the hall would have heard that.
All right. Well, that's enough for me then. I'm not going to take any more risks. Halvar is going to run. Not run for his life run, but, I'm going to exit the cave and go and try and find somewhere else. But it's good to know that this is here and that it is living or filled with living goblins. But I need to get out of here. I'm at 3 HP. This is too dangerous for me. Too spooky for me.
All right. Oh, you're not at 24 HP.
If only, Chauncey.
Nothing is for certain in this world, and certainly not the scale of the map. I think this is an outdated version. I don't know. I'll mention this again if it becomes relevant. You're basically lost in the woods, though, so it's not like it particularly matters. But I think this map is no longer to scale.
There might be a more up-to-date scaled version that was sent to you?
There is. I'm not going to bother uploading it until the need arises. Or maybe till you find yourself. Roll navigation or some such ability. Cartography. Do you have that skill?
I do not. I have no useful skills other than surviving in the wilderness.
Do you have survival?
I have hunting, tumbling, and tracking.
Oh, tumbling. I'm sure that will come in handy. I am thinking that survival should be on the list of suggested berserker skills. I don't know why that popped in my head. But anyways. So where to, Halvar? You gracefully exit the goblin cave. That's 3 more kills, so those will be 3 more notches in your belt.
Excellent.
If you will. We'll deal with that at the end of the session, I think, unless you want to take care of it now. You can take care of it now.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah,
what is that?
You can get away.
Notches in my belt?
No, that is a cool name for a berserker ability. I meant that. I didn't mean that in any.
Oh, okay.
But you do get XP for killing things. 10. I think that's just 10, 20, 30 XP.
Is there?
Yeah, we were giving you 50. We were giving you 50 before, but the version I'm seeing now is 10 per level per hit die. Goblins are even a generous hit die.
Okay, it's another 30.
30 experience.
300 out of 2,000.
Milestone not achieved. Goblin cave still infested.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you, McTacky, for the lovely McMappy.
Let's see. I need to find a place to rest. Now, Bobstown is the place that I was recently sacking, I think.
Yes. You murdered some farmers on the outskirts of Bobstown. I don't know that you know its name to be Bobstown.
Sure. Well, I guess in this situation, I just need somewhere to rest. So I will... Resting near water is good. Resting near goblins is bad. I think I want to get to the other side of the road and rest on the other side of the road. Like,
yeah, I think you were there originally.
Yeah.
Trying to think what to have you do to make navigation. You successfully tracked your way here. You can follow your trail back north across the road.
Okay.
Yeah, and find where to... Are you finding the road, or are you trying to find a suitable campsite?
Suitable campsite. My intent is to go across the road, but if I find a suitable campsite before it, that's fine. And my definitions of suitability are predominantly cover-based. Like, if there's like a cliff and some shit that's just fallen against it, that's a perfect campsite. I'll just like crawl up behind that stuff and sleep there for a couple of days. I just need like maximum cover, minimum comfort optional. Ooh, there are 2 maps.
In any case, roll. You said you don't have a survival. It's like a navigation. I think you don't have any of these, so I think just roll like a wisdom minus or perception. What do you think navigating would be based on?
Perception.
Take an argument for a skill and take a -5 penalty to it.
I will argue for perception because if it's wisdom or willpower, then I'd be rolling d20 plus 2, and that doesn't seem very good. More importantly, if you're navigating, it's about what you can see and what you can make sense of. So wisdom makes a certain amount of sense, but I think in a forest covering, it's more about like recognizing trees and taking note of your surroundings, which to me sounds like perception. And I will just barely eke by the 21.
All right, so you make your way into the hills. That was more for me to gauge the suitability of your campsite. Probably not perfectly to scale, but
Halvar, big.
much better.
Halvar size of Bobstown. Halvar smash.
Okay. Yeah, I need to tweak scales, but it's better. All right, and you find you don't encounter any trouble, and you find what exactly are you looking for in terms of campsite? Secluded?
Something secluded with some like foliage or covering or fallen trees or like dugout area. Are you dragging
goblins with you?
No.
Okay.
So.
All right, so you can navigate the woods just fine. However, you are not going to be able to recover HP as long as you're hungry. And I don't think you have any food. Do you have rations in your...
No, they stole my shit. I have nothing.
Yeah. You're hoboing. Have 3 HP.
Yeah.
With I think until you find a food source, you're not going to be able to rest and recover. You're able to find a suitable campsite, home base, or something. Like you find a secluded... you go a safe... half a day, right? 12 miles away across the road, away from the goblins. You haven't seen anything since, but
good. I want to find like a log or a tree.
You're a hunter, right?
I am a hunter. Yeah.
I want to roll a hunting check.
Yeah. I first want to set up a base before I go and get food. So I want to find like a tree that's propped up in some way that I can like, hack other bits of things off to and like drag to make a blind or some cover. And once I have some semblance of a base set up for emergency hiding if I need to, then I will go and make my hunting check to find something to eat. 1d20 plus...
do you want to describe your hidey hole?
Yeah.
For a second? I mean, you succeed in your non-proficient survival check, so you find whatever resources you need to construct whatever shelter you think you need.
I need a significant grade difference in the ground, or elevation difference, so like 4 or 5 feet would be great, with something connecting the two that you can pass underneath. So like ideally it would be like a small cliff with a log against it, and then I can cut off branches and lean them up on either side of the log to kind of create a cover that would blend in well. But I'll even take just like, a big rock and a nearby big stick or something and arrange these things to make some sort of foliage-looking mound that is actually hollow on the inside. I've got an axe and a Bowie knife, so I can easily hack up bushes and branches to help create the cover. But that's the idea. And then I will hunt with a natural 20. Oh my god, my hunting check is so bad.
What is it? Why is this so bad? You're proficient, aren't you?
Yeah, but it's based on willpower, and I have 7 willpower. And the natural modifier is 1.
Perception check.
1d20 plus 13... 24.
All right. Let's drop you there. There's no more goblins, corpses. You're wandering around the woods, and 20. How do you hunt? Is this a smell thing? You catch the scent of
It's a combination of scent, looking for droppings, checking, looking for nearby watering areas and looking for trails and tracks. Just very careful movement and gazing about, sort of stalking the area, pausing and looking for movement of branches, whatever.
Have you been looking at the map?
I see the map, yes. I have been looking at it.
Anything lurking in the trees?
I did see a wild boar, and now I see a goblin. I wasn't sure what you wanted me to see, though.
Not the goblin. Those are your haunted memories. But you do catch the scent of bacon. I think with the hunting skill, we determine how close you get, right?
Yeah, I think it's 100 yards plus 1d100, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know if you're looking it up. Go for it.
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F. Hunting comes to 100 plus 1d100 yards of an animal. Okay.
All right. So you actually don't see it. That was a tease.
104 yards. Wow. It's quite good.
But you catch the scent, and you stop. Maybe you notice some movement.
Well, if I notice the movement and I can smell bacon on the wind, I guess I will just proceed forward carefully and quietly. In this situation, quiet is most important. So I will go at a much, much slower rate than I normally would walk.
And I think you can keep making checks to approach. Is that how this works?
Yeah,
I don't
but
like
I
the
need a
rules as written.
17 to pass, or a 15 to pass.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Let's just make it a skill check that you inevitably fail, right?
Let's see. The group can attempt to close the range, but a proficiency check must be made for each 20 yards closed? Oh my god.
Isn't hunting fun? I approach. You scare the deer. The deer runs.
Yeah. If the stalking is successful, the hunter automatically surprises the game. The type of animal stalked depends on the nature of the terrain and the whim of the DM.
Well, keep rolling hunting checks till you fail to see how close you get before they notice you, right?
Sure, but there's some range that if I succeed to, I will not want to get any closer and I'll just want to launch my ambush. But I doubt we'll get there.
Yeah, I think the way this works out is you approach until you spook and then...
Well, there we go. I spook it.
But I'll give it a perception check to notice. And they do. So you're not... So the scent of potential bacon turns to musk as you startle them and they turn their asses to you and run. But you've got the opportunity to pursue. So I think here, let's roll for initiative at 94 yards or whatever. We'll do some math to see if you can close.
Plus, I'm just running with my dagger because I want to throw my dagger.
Everyone knows you run faster when you've got a dagger.
I mean, that's what all the pro Counter-Strike players do.
And you break into a run. How fast are you, Halvar? What is the average of your... What are your strength and your dexterity scores?
10 and 14, respectively.
Nothing exceptional. So I think you're just baseline movement 12.
Yeah.
But you can run 120 yards in a single round, right?
Yes. So the boar starts to run. I chase after it. Whoops,
you spook it. So you can actually come. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
So you do close the gap before they. Yeah. So I guess this is why they startle and run, because they heard you and you panic and you sprint. You can't actually make an attack with that unless it was a charge. Was it?
I think I probably need line of sight to declare a charge. Otherwise, I would definitely have charged.
I'll give it a charge. You can make an attack roll this round.
1d20 plus 1 to hit? You get 2 for charging, 1 for charging? I should
I
know
think
this
just
by
one
now.
and then 2 for AC. I'll just consult the Regal Goblins DM screen.
You get a bonus of 2 on your initiative when you charge.
Indeed. Well then.
Charging +2 to hit. Oh, nice.
Okay.
16
Stick him.
for 7 damage. I will just gut the boar with the Bowie knife.
That's convenient. Let me roll up some HP for this guy. I think it's going to be under...
Mammal?
Just make something up, but I think I'm going to see what the monstrous manual has to say. Yeah, it's going to be under mammal. Herd, maybe? Got a sheep. It's not small. There we go. Wild boar. Repairing 1 to 12. I guess I could have rolled for it too. Ooh, they're beefy.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to take him down.
It could be a young one.
Yeah, how much? You did 7 damage?
Yeah. Doesn't look particularly big.
Boar, wild. All right, cool. All right, you run down this boar, skewer it with your knife, and then they panic and run. Let's roll morale, I think, to see if they like. I don't know if morale is the right way to put it, but. All right. That's average. Sure. So this one at least goes to gore you.
Oh, God.
The others, I think the others run. I can't see any reason. They're not like they're herd animals. I think they startle and run.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if there's a mama, she'll come back
like
for her
running
young.
along. You go running alongside them. Well, actually, not quite. So yeah. Anyways, so you startled. I don't think they had gotten a chance to flee. Right? You heard them disturbed, rustling in the bushes, and then they run when you descend on them. This one will. Did we already roll initiative, or was that?
That was my initiative and charge.
Okay. All right. So the boar returns fire and misses. They do have
Nasty damage if they hit.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Neal,
Don't get gored by the boar. Don't get gored by the
Why
boar.
aren't you frenzied? Why aren't you frenzied?
Because I was stalking them and I needed a round of frenzy.
Initiative.
There'd be no. Frenzy is useful in sustained fights, but in like ambushing a creature like a boar, it's no
Roll
good.
initiative.
1d10 plus 4, 5 minimum.
All right, go for it. Are you drawing battle axe?
I will draw my battle axe and make 2 attacks. Here's the battle axe, 12, and here's the Bowie knife, 2. Maybe I can argue for some high ground because the boar is so small compared to the towering half orc.
7. No, it's a medium-sized creature, whatever. It only has 13. You need to find a +1 in here. You've already charged.
The high ground of being much, much taller. The hunger in my belly that is driving me to eat. The fear in my heart because I'm about to starve or die to a boar, and it'll just prove all the orcs back in my village right that I'm useless. The pent-up nerd rage of 100 years.
So here's a thought. You are proficient with the battle axe, right?
Yes, I am.
You have a weapon proficiency in battle axe.
I do.
So I was playing with the ideas of different types of attacks depending on your weapon and your skill with it. I hadn't planned on implementing yet, but we could say that we could give. So one of the ideas, one of them would
The attack types, the hack and the slash and the stab and the bash.
Yeah. So I'm wondering. I hadn't thought if a battle axe would be a slashing weapon, if you could take that bonus to hit in exchange for a penalty to damage. I don't know if I'd call if battle axe has to hack every time, or if I even want to go down the road of exploring this these random notes on a undeveloped system.
Well, how else do they get developed if we don't explore them?
Yeah. So do you think you can? Do you think you can and would make a slash with a battle axe?
I am desperate. Yes, I am trying to optimize my roll to hit. I would happily take a penalty of 3 to damage to gain a bonus to hit.
Okay. So this is here if you want to try and think about it anymore. But so we can retroactively say that this was you made a slashing attack, which would have given you a bonus to hit in exchange for damage. Sure. So roll your damage at -1 plus whatever rage damage you have.
All right. That is going to be 1d8 plus 4 minus 1. 6.
Okay, 6 points of damage. And it still stands. And I think you beat it on initiative. Yeah, you rolled max initiative. You have an offhand, though, don't you? Or do you not?
I rolled a 2 with it, with my bowie knife. Yeah.
All right. On its turn, the boar will disengage and retreat. Roll a perception check to see. Yep.
2.
No. I think the board disengages and disappears into the brush and goes off running. Roll initiative, I guess, because I think you're going to try to run that. So these other two, since long cleared.
10 on the initiative, not super great.
And
I will be I will be
10.
charging after it, so that does make it an 8, I suppose.
There's a lot of commotion. You only caught sight of maybe 3, but there was a whole herd of these wild boar. But you stuck a big one. And but you've lost sight. You can hear all around you the noise of the forest.
Well, I want to charge after the one that...
You pick a direction and run, so you lost sight of it in a bush.
I would like to go in the direction that I last saw it then. You know, if I...
Roll 1d3.
R1d3... 1.
No luck, no dice. So you go running vaguely in the direction that you saw it disappear. I think you move for your whole turn. You realize you don't, like you've lost it or something like that. I mean, we're sort of ticking minutes.
Uh-huh.
How did this boar get here? Anyways, you can't see him. So you get that feeling like you're losing it, right? You're still running, the adrenaline's still pumping. You can tell, you just startled, a dozen boar there that are
right.
Or dozen
I'm going to
pigs.
head back to the place where I saw him, and I'm going to look for a blood trail, because I did do some good damage to it. And maybe chasing it down is not a good idea, but following the blood trail will maybe lead me to a slowly bleeding to death boar or something. I don't know.
Yeah, roll a...
Something's up with the mic. Got a big... I'm gonna reconnect to Zoom. I think I've got some weird shit going on my end. No, we're good. We're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Was that me? Did we just
big burst of static? I don't know if it was you or if it was Zoom, but there was a static burst.
A static storm. Oh no.
It's probably a supernova somewhere interrupting our communication lines.
I thought something exploded. Oh no. Oh no. That production value.
Mm-hmm.
Called it. You queued it up.
I told you. All right. You were asking me to make a die roll, but I don't know what you were asking me for. Was it another tracking check?
Right. You were tracking the blood trail.
Oh man. All right. 24. Woo.
With mad bonuses. Yeah. So you mortally wounded this pig, and I think you can just track it down. Let's roll. Let's do like opposed con checks to run it down or something like that, which I hope you'll win in like a successive it rolls a natural 1. Yeah, I think you find it curled up in a bush a couple hundred yards away.
I will descend upon it.
It will make a futile attempt to fend you off. So I mean it's still alive, right? You see it in a bush, like sitting down. Mm-hmm. So turning to look at you, but it's not standing up. Like, so you can tell it's wounded, but it's going to put up a fight.
Before I attack it, I want to throw myself into a rage because I don't think it's going to run.
Yeah.
Right.
Talk me through this minute of.
So I see
the advance.
I see the boar all curled up, and I know that I need to pounce on it and kill it. But also, those tusks are terrifying. So Halvar's going to start like stomping his feet and like beating his hands on his chest back and forth a little bit to sort of like amp himself up and psych himself up, and then he's going to jump and sort of like flap his arms a bit, and then give like a loud, blood-curdling war cry while he grabs his axe and his Bowie knife, and then throw himself at the orc to make axe attack, Bowie knife attack, and a bite attack against the boar.
Do you say anything to yourself, to this boar, to old gods?
I think there's an internal mantra of like hack him, bite him, stab him, hack him, bite him, stab him, hack him, bite him, stab him.
Okay, Neal. 3 attacks. Let's just roll initiative, I think. Right, because the mechanical, right? Yeah, let's just roll initiative. I'm trying to think whether he'd ready an attack or whether you could ready an attack. He does go first, so you risk being gored before you get a chance to make your attack rolls.
It's okay. I mean, I've been at the brink of death this entire time.
Rolls a natural 1.
Thank God. Second natural 1 in a row? Okay.
So you can make your frenzied blows.
So I will be slashing with my battle axe.
There's this boar.
Oh, I don't think I can slash with the Bowie knife, but if I can, I would like to.
Are you also you do also have a knife proficiency, dagger proficiency?
Yeah. I think so.
I was also thinking about simplifying the different weapon types. So you'll see that like brainstormed list somewhere else here as well.
14 with the Bowie knife without anything additional, and then I'm going to bite him with my teeth as well. Oh, God.
The bite maybe surprisingly hits because the Bowie knife. You finish the job with the Bowie knife.
Yeah.
How much damage did you do? There's a -1 if you were slashing with it.
I didn't actually include the +1 on the slash.
Okay, so you're just doing a regular strike, a regular attack.
Yeah.
Okay. But 8 damage was enough to bring the beast down.
I guess
you sink your teeth in and eat it raw?
I know, because he's got like tough hide and fur. Like, I'm going to drag him back to my lean-to and rip him apart and eat him raw there. Maybe make a fire. I don't have any fire building proficiencies or matches or anything. I might have to eat him raw. I might have to make a fire somehow. Either way, I'm going to take him back to my lean-to and consume my beast there, where Sweet. I will rest for a month. Well, 11 days. No, that's not right. 19 days.
All right. You brought down a wild boar, and you drag it back to your campsite that you previously prepared. You have hunting.
Yes.
I don't believe you have leatherworking. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Or let me think. Field dressing isn't a thing, but I feel like that's kind of hunting adjacent. I maybe just talk to me about what this looks like, dragging back your kill, setting up your camp.
Oh, at this point, unless the boar weighs more than 115 pounds, I'm going to throw it over my shoulder and haul it back that way. I don't want to leave drag marks back to lean-to.
You'll leave footprints unless you wish to make extreme efforts.
The footprints are fine, but drag marks would be too obvious, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to minimize my trail leaving. I might even like drop the boar off and then go and like cover my tracks from the last 100 feet or so.
Okay, so you pick it up and transport it whole. You leave a blood trail, and it drips blood all over you.
I'm comfortable being covered in blood, but blood trail...
So I think you take it back to your camp, over back, set it down. Do you field dress it at that point, or do you go to cover your trail first?
Cover my trail first.
All right, so make a tracking check, and we'll see how well you can use your tracking skills to conceal your own tracks.
27.
Nice. So yeah, you drop the boar off, and then you backtrack. There's still but it's the woods, right? There's blood in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So you sweep up your trail, conceal it as best you can, and return to camp.
Excellent.
And to the now bloating corpse of this dead
bloat
boar.
that quickly?
I don't know. Maybe sitting out in the sun, right?
In the lean-to, so not quite, but it's warm, I suppose. And now that he's here, I will.
Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Cut him open, let the bloat out. I guess maybe like dig a small hole so that there can like the blood will drain into a place, so it's not just like everywhere. I don't want to like be sitting in mud, especially bloody mud. So small hole for the blood to drain into. Keeping myself well in the confines of my lean-to, I will gut and maybe not fully skin, but cut him open enough that I can get to the good parts, and then gorge myself on meat. I'm going to start raw.
Do you have a fire? You're starting raw?
I have no fire, and I'm a little concerned about leaving, like, smoke.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dangerous wood, and I am really low on HP. If I were to, like, make a fire to cook the boar and then get spotted, all of this boar hunting would be for naught.
Yeah, totally.
So,
can you make in lieu of a meat lore or a butchery or a field dressing or a leatherworking skill, roll a hunting check at like -2 to
cool. 4.
Yeah.
16.
All right. Meh. Okay, so you gorge yourself in the gore of this kill.
Mm-hmm.
Bathed in blood. I think you cut into it and eat the organs raw. And the boar's heart and liver are consumed, and you rest.
I will, just kick my feet back, stay in my little lean-to, and try and relax for a while. Let's see. I regain 1 HP per day. I am down by 19. I guess I don't need to get to full.
8 hours, I think, is the current rule. There was a an alpha, a pre-alpha, where I had at 1 HP per day from all wounds.
Oh. Okay.
Your natural healing requires 8 hours of uninterrupted rest. The way I have it worded now is near a fire or a hearth. I think with a tent you're okay. I think your lean-to in the woods is fine in this weather.
Right. The idea is to be.
But if it were raining, or you may need to fire under in other circumstances. But this forest is tempered enough,
right?
That you don't have a blanket or anything, do you? You've just got your tarp.
No, they ruined my
Do you even have a shirt? Aren't you shirtless? Your tarp was fine. You had to put it back up, but.
Okay, my tarp was fine. Well, they stole my backpack, so I didn't want to carry my tarp under my arm. So
you left your tarp. So you don't even have. Oh, you made yourself a lean-to with that improvised survival check. That's
right. Right. So I've got like walls around me that will buffer wind, so it's always still
the
around me.
Is only good. So I think we can only do 1 day. Well, 8 hours. You can do, so that you can do 3 HP in a day.
Okay. After that point, I will make a fire the next day and cook the slightly fetid meat. After I gain 3 HP. Yeah, because
perfect.
I just can't stick around at 3 for too long.
Yeah, so day 1, you get 3 HP if you're doing a complete 24-hour rest.
Yes.
Is that the goal? And you are not hungry, you're not thirsty. You have drank the blood and feasted on the liver of this boar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can gain 3 HP. So that's 1 HP from each of your highest wounds. If that makes sense. In succession, counting your way down.
I can do that.
So I think you go down. Yeah.
So my greatest wound is now a 3.
Mm-hmm. And then you can make a fire. You don't have a fire building or flint and steel.
Fire building is needed for wet wood. I don't have flint and steel, but I do have hunting, so I suppose maybe I can do it, but it might take me a while. Like I might be at it for a couple hours.
Yeah. Let's just summarize all that in some sort of check to see if it's
1d20 plus.
I think
maybe
it's going to be another sad willpower check. I don't know if fire building actually has a.
Ooh, I passed with flying colors.
All right, an 8's an 8. You can start a fire.
I can start a fire.
Or an 18 is an 18.
Yeah. Fire building is wisdom -1. Okay.
Yeah.
So 24, but still.
All right.
So let me tell you what I want to do here. I might need to expand my lean-to a little bit, so I might have to first grab some other foliage, some other branches, some other bushes, and kind of maybe build out the lean-to to give myself a little bit more space. Then I want to examine the very top of it, the highest point, and create a little poke hole up there, and then maybe spread some extra stuff on top of that, so any smoke that rises might rise and then split across. If I can place a couple of ferns over where the smoke hole would rise, then the smoke will come up, hit the ferns, and maybe disperse a little bit. So instead of being concentrated, it's got a wider area, making it a little less visible. And then I will gather enough supplies to start the fire and keep it going for a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Build the fire, and then go out and gather some more supplies and sort of feed it and slowly build up a stock of firewood so I can keep it going throughout the day and night. Because I'm going to want warmth over the night, and I don't want to have to restart the fire in the morning. So if I can just keep coals going all night long, that'd be great.
Yeah. So you get your little camp going.
Mm-hmm.
Roast some boar meat. You're not a cook, but you get it done. Do you do anything with the boar parts?
I suppose after I've gathered firewood and built the shelter, I have a lot of time to kill. I'll be here for days.
Are pickled boar feet like an orcish delicacy? Do you prepare us any?
We don't have vinegar. We haven't invented that yet. I will probably play with the tusks and the bones and the hooves just out of boredom. So I'll have my Bowie knife and I'll be maybe carving into them. Maybe I'll be carving little goblins into the bones, because I'm thinking about those goblins. I haven't forgotten about them. I'm going back for them. I have sworn an oath to slay these goblins, and I will do it. So I sort of keep my mind on the task at hand by carving goblins into bones. And when I'm healed up, I will break the bone. Oh, maybe I'll take them with me and leave them on the goblins? Ooh. I don't know.
You're getting ahead of yourself. So this first restless night, you drift in and out of consciousness as you rest. And in your dreams, you are Asbor, running through the woods, sort of like flashing visions of, you chasing down and goring the beast, and then in another instant, you are the boar, and you're goring yourself and running through the woods. All this is obviously a dream. But you wake, eventually recovered, go into a second day where we describe you building fire, roasting meats, and carving fresh, wet bone. Or do you roast it and then you carve it, and you probably crack it all open to get to the marrow. And in these shards of bone, you see goblins. That sounded like what you were thinking of, right?
That's what I was thinking of.
What do we see in the flame roasted bone shards? Are you?
Well, we see the little bits of
skill. Do you?
Well, hunting, tracking, tumbling. I don't know. Those are sort of woodsy.
Tumble the bones.
I see the marrow in the bone, that sort of brownish, reddish stuff. And to me, that reminds me of the broken goblins and their blood coming out after I rip them all to shreds.
They're bone shards for sure, but the marrow comes out thick and creamy.
Kind of like the entrails and the guts of the goblins as I squeeze them to death and they pop out in my hands.
Entrails are ghosts. Now this marrow is lifeblood. This is nutritious and delicious.
I'll, of course, then eat the marrow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, delicious. And what else do I want to do with these here bone shards? I don't know, each little broken piece reminds me of like the little bits of goblins. They're kind of scrawny creatures anyway, with those awkwardly shaped ears and the pointy joints all over the place. So these broken bones definitely have a goblin resemblance to me at this point, while I think on my hated enemy and what I will do to them.
All right. How many days were you hoping to rest? Or how?
I am down 18 right now, so I would like to rest for 6 more days. It'd be a week here in the woods. That should get me to full.
You eventually need to go find some water source.
Yes. I will leave the lean-to as needed for water.
Yeah. And you find a nearby creek within a couple of miles, a small pond or bubbling brook or something. All right. On the 4th day, let's do some math so we know where your wounds are at. So you had that first that you already took, and then 2 more days will give you a total of 6, 8. So you get 1 HP every 8 hours of uninterrupted rest. So if you're fully resting in a day, you'll gain 3, but that goes down from your highest wounds to your lowest. So if you want to check in again, I feel like I think an HP spreadsheet may be the way to go.
Okay.
If this character survives, I think it might be cool to even have an overlay. Just like a notepad. It'd basically be an incomprehensible string of numbers that add up to your total damage.
I have a character sheet that will manage that for me, and we could put it into Roll20. We can make that happen. We have the technology.
All right. It could be in blood red. Wounds.
Right. So how many days do I get to rest so I know how many wounds to mark off?
3. So you'll in total have gained 9 HP from 3, so you should be at 12. But I'm not sure what wound distribution that will be. By that point, it may just be all ones.
Okay, so I will gain 6 more HP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So you guys become 1s, and the rest of you become 2s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. I'm at 12 out of 24. After 3 days of rest in my lean-to with my dead pig, who I have named William at this point in time.
William, you say?
Yes. And every day as I go to eat some more, I look at him and I'm like, well, William. No, not William. Wilson. His name is Wilson. That's the name. Well, Wilson, what are we going to eat today? And I'll point my Bowie knife, be it heads or tails. And then I'll, flip a coin or flip my Bowie knife, and wherever it lands, we're going for some loin today. Good job, Wilson. Good choice. And then I'll carve into him and eat him out.
So, did you roast the whole pig all at once, or are you like letting it rot and cooking it as you go?
I probably roasted it all at once, and then every day that I go back to eat it, I like re-roast whatever I'm eating, and so it's probably getting like really dry and charred and like, not great.
All right. On the third day, your camp is discovered. Let's see if you notice the noticing or something. Roll opposed perception checks, maybe, or if you would like to, perception.
24.
Yeah, so you spot, or what alarm, or what, do you have alarms set up or anything? Like, how would you notice someone approaching your camp? Do you hear them first? Do you see them first?
I would hear them.
Do you smell
No, because I've just been chilling in this camp for a little while, so I know the sounds of the creatures. It's been 3 days, right? So if I'm just laying here, get familiar with the sounds of whatever passes by. Maybe it's just like squirrels and birds, in which case any sort of, sound out of place might resonate with me.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there's a disturbance, and you've been camped down in this land for a few days. You've gotten used to the rhythm of the birds, and you notice something amiss, and
I will, get to my haunches. I'll do the Slavic squat while I draw my weapons and sort of wait for something.
You spot at first 3 men, well, humans at least, entering your camp. Yeah. They don't appear to have noticed you, but they look like they're coming here looking for your camp, right? They look like they're tracking you out. Like they're crouched around on their own haunches, sniffing around. They are armed and and clad in skins. They wield spears and shields, and appear to be hunters or something.
Right. So
tracking you.
I will peer through the viewing spots in my blind, and if they come within striking range and they turn their backs to me or their flanks to me, or like some area where I've got like a nice angle of attack, I will just jump out and strike them. If it looks like they spot my area and are intentionally like walking towards me face first, I I will probably try and like sneak out the opposite way of my lean-to, so that way when they come in, they won't, maybe I'll be able to pull something off there. And if they just wander away without getting too close to me, I want to stalk after them. So those are my 3.
Sorry, what was your plan A?
If they come towards me, like come towards the lean-to but go past it, so they turn their side or their back to it, then I want to leap on them.
You can totally set up an ambush because they've tracked you. They're tracking you out. You've done as best you can to conceal, but you've been living here for days. I think maybe they can smell you, same as you smell them. So they're coming right for you, right for your tarp. So maybe do you like leave your tarp and like crouch in a tree or in a bush or on a ledge nearby and jump out at them? What's your preferred plan of attack?
They're coming right for the lean-to?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're coming for me, I'm imagining my lean-to is sort of like up against a wall, so I've got like a 180-degree arc of clear space. So it's very important to me if they're coming like dead on, or are they coming from one side? Like there's like there's 90 degrees of angle that they could be coming from. What is their inclination towards me? This. Oops. Thank you, Doodle. This is. Where is my thingy? Here we go. Doodle what I think my camp looks like, and you can edit it as much as you'd like. So there's like a wall or something, and I've got a roll 20. You're wigging out on me, buddy. And I've got some sort of like lean-to setup.
That's enormous. Can you draw it to scale?
I'm having a hard time to drawing. Roll 20 is like really wigging out on me. Shit is not operating well.
I think it's because you're a GM.
I'm in player
You asked
mode.
for it for some technical reason at some point. How do I?
Wigging out anymore. What is the distance here? Okay, so that's actually about right. So I need some sort of... That'll be perfect. That is a perfect. And then I will have some smaller things leaned up against it. And then like foliage covering all of that on top.
All right, I think I demoted you to a player.
Cool. So this is like just big enough for me to hang out in. The sides of it come like right down next to the ground. So even though it looks like it's 9 by 8, it's actually probably only like 6 by 4 or something where you can stand.
What am I looking at? Is this a tree or something?
This is like this main thing right here is like a log or a branch that I've leaned up against a hill, and then these things that come up to it are other logs or branches that sort of lean against it, and then the scribbles on top are like the bushes and ferns and branches that have leaves on them that I've laid across to make it just look like a covering of brush.
Okay.
And then like I sit inside. So what I need to know is what direction are they coming from?
They're the only direction to approach from is up towards the hill, right? If you're built into a hillside, or could they be coming from the side?
They could be coming from the sides. That's what I need to know. Because if they're coming this way, then I've got nowhere to hide other than in my bush. But if they come from this way, I can like sneak out the back and then maybe skirt around somewhere else.
I think I will just roll for it. I mean, you had the opportunity to set up your camp as defensively as you'd be inclined to do so.
Right, and I was trying to go with the smallest, least obtrusive. I was trying the defensive hiding rather than like actually putting up defensive barriers.
They're actually approaching from over here. So I think from uphill.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe they think they're going to get the jump on you, right? You said you built this into the side of a hill or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they circled up and around. Maybe they climbed some distance off.
Okay.
And you notice them staging to ambush you.
So what I would like to do then is slip out the side and press myself against the hill and sort of like skirt along the edges, so that way they would have to be looking straight down to spot me. And then I want to like skirt along and maybe try and circle back up around them to their side.
Yeah, make a dexterity check to see how well you conceal yourself and your movement.
30.
Nailed it. So you're able to sneak away if you'd like, and like leave the camp as they think they're ambushing you, and they like jump in and burst into under your little lean-to, and you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
And so they spend a few minutes bewilderedly searching your campsite.
Well, then I will start sneaking back, like crawling on the ground slowly, back over towards the lean-to from the hill above. I don't necessarily want to peer over because I don't want them to have a chance to see me, but I want to listen for any chatter or listen to see if they might be coming this way. Are they surprised that I'm not there? What are they saying?
They're speaking in common.
I speak that.
They're speaking of you, right? So it's exactly what it seems like, right? They thought they ambushed you. Like, where is he? Oh, he's gone. And the fire is still hot. And you're like, and then like curses as they find, and then they just look what he's done to it, and they're rifling through your cook fire and your the remains of your food, your camp. Let's see. That's the gist of it. What are your plans? Do you want to continue to sit here and eavesdrop on their conversation?
I want to assess what their actions are before I make any, because right now, if they're just chilling there, that's fine. If it seems like they're going to be coming back up the hill, I want to go away. If it looks like they're going to walk away from me, I might want to attack them, but it depends on what their specific configuration is. So for now, I wait and listen.
So they're thoroughly searching your camp for signs of you, for signs of your track. Like I said, so roll like an intelligence check or something to see how much of their conversation you can decipher, I guess.
I speak the common tongue.
Yeah,
Perception check for how much I can hear?
Myself. Like...
You just want me to fail checks, is that it, huh?
Okay, we can do this without a check. That's fine. You can just over here listen in on their conversation.
What do they say?
So they're saying, so that your fire is still warm. So they're actively looking for signs of where you went. Whereas he's warm, he can't have been gone long. And then there's like a dear gods or whoever. I don't know what they would pray to. I haven't like a curse and like what is it? Look what they've done to it, or look what he's done to it. And there's some discussion of the boar corpse. Because it's like, is it salvageable? And
I listen.
Yeah, this is where I was like thinking an intelligence check maybe in order to see if you can make sense of what that
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to make an intelligence check?
No. I should just be able to perfectly roleplay with myself and let you pick up on information via context clues. But they're not able to like catch the scent of you, so they're just sort of scrounging around your camp looking for a sign of where you went. Yeah. What condition have you left the Vor corpse in? Has it just totally been butchered, dismembered, feasted upon?
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 3 days, so you can only eat so much meat in 3 days. But poor Wilson, like, his back haunches are gone, his fore haunches are gone, all the good belly meat is gone, so it's sort of like the back and the head that are left.
Did you make any effort to preserve its hide?
No.
Or did you eat? Yeah, okay. So then their conversation is upon, he's butchered the poor creature. There's no salvaging it. Grumbling, and we'll catch this poacher. But they seem ineffective at doing that, and they spend 5 minutes pass. I don't know how long you want to sit here waiting and eavesdropping. They search your camp and are unable to find your trail, but you're like 10 feet away, so you feel like it's not going to be long before they bumble into you. So
if it's been 5 minutes and they're still poking around, I want to risk a peer over the ledge, and I want to see, like, very carefully, very slowly peer over the edge, and if any of them are, or if none of them are looking in my direction and I feel like I could get a good ambush on them, I want to leap down from above and rip one of them to shreds before anything happens. But before I do that, my question about frenzy, is frenzying in something that would give away my position?
No, I think it seems reasonable here for you to, it doesn't need, it can be
Okay.
Need not, I don't know. I'm open to letting it be role played out, I guess. I don't know that there need be verbal and somatic components, if you will, right?
Okay.
There probably should be, but I think in certain contexts, maybe it's okay to do a stealthy frenzy. It seems fine for me to let you leap from the woods frenzied, right? That seems like setting up an ambush, it seems like a suitable adrenaline rush. You probably need to work yourself up in your head or something.
All right, that's what I'll do then. I'll work myself up in my head. These guys are here. They're invading my campsite. They're stealing my meat, and they're calling me poachers? No. So I get myself worked up, and then peer over the edge, and hopefully none of them are looking at me, and I can figure out where one is so I can leap on them from above.
And we will resolve your ambush on the other side of this break.
See you guys on the other side.